What's going on, people? Hey, man, we here again. It's beautiful outside. We got some snow today. Supposed to have a snowstorm coming in to the affected area, the region here. It's going to affect us a little something, something. So, I had to go out there and get me something before it get all locked down because an inch of snow down here is almost a national disaster down here. They get a little inch. People don't work well with snow. So I said, let me go ahead and do what I can before it gets crazy. Well, I hope everyone's having a great day. This is Humanity Unplugged podcast, and I am and still your host, Jermaine McCrimmon. And I want to thank everyone from all over the world for tuning in with us and doing what you do every day, every Tuesday and Thursday. When you wake up in the morning and you think about us and you download that podcast, listen to that fresh anointing that we have out there for you. I'd like to thank you guys for doing that. We also like to thank everyone on all social media platforms for tuning in with us and liking our stuff and sharing it and on our live streams. We'd like to get our numbers up on our YouTube as possible. So guys, please log on to our YouTube and share, like, and subscribe on our YouTube and also on our Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Humanity Unplugged Podcast. It's got its own Facebook, and we're trying to get a group going together. So from now to the end of February, you can enter in by subscribing to our YouTube and also following us on Facebook page. And if we're going to start a group with the Humanity Unplugged podcast group, we want to get a good name for that. So whatever name we use, whoever enters the name in through comments and we pick out your name, you'll get a gift card sent to you. It's going to be a nice gift card. So please, because I don't tell you what's going to be on the gift card or how much the gift card is, I take this serious. This is part of a family we starting to get together, and I want you guys to know that we got your back. So moving forward, we're all over on all platforms. We want you guys to tune into us. Anything you could think of, we're already there on Instagram. We're on Rumble, Twitter. As I said before, we're on TikTok. We're all over. So please, you can check us out. Apple, Spotify, you name it, we're on it. So we'd like to thank you guys from all over, which is Russia, Spain, Germany, Bulgaria, India, and also our hometown, United States. You guys are showing great support, and we'd like to thank you guys for that. Today, our episode, Aviation, Cutbacks, and Mental Health. I said that because it's a lot we need to talk about in a short period of time. I'm not going to give you no fluffery. I'm going to give it to you straight and raw and uncut, the way we like to hear it. Our president is our president. Whoever voted for him, that's your business. We're going to get whatever we're going to get out of him. No matter who's there, we're going to get what comes out of him. He's on point, though. He's doing what he said he will do. And I mentioned aviation and cutbacks as our first two subjects because this is something that he has affected. He has affected aviation. He has affected tons of cutbacks. So our first topic will be aviation. In aviation, we go to the National Transportation Safety Board, who does all the record keeping for aviation incidents throughout the country, the world. And before I tell you what is the numbers analytically, I want to tell you what's been going on in the past 2 months. 2 months. And we're not even through the second month of February yet, but in 2 months' time, we've had an incident January 10th, non-fatal in Alaska, where a plane went down. January 3rd in Alaska, plane went down. January non-fatal. January 29th, 67 people killed in the Washington incident with the Black Hawk. Now I'm going to stop there because I want you to understand that there's communication with the tower and the Black Hawk. There's communication throughout with the tower and the Black Hawk. So at any given time, the tower could have told the Black Hawk, set it down, landed, turn around, anything could have been said. I don't know if it was said. We don't know all the true facts. Remember, guys, this is just my opinion, my thoughts on the situation. I've heard different versions of what they say took place. I took my own analysis on what to say is true and accurate, and I give my opinion on it. It doesn't mean it happened my way. It doesn't mean it didn't happen my way. Again, this is just my states and my facts and how I feel about this subject, about this situation. So we all know that these planes and helicopters come with sonar or radar. It comes with a lot of high-tech information to keep everyone safe. So I know it's being used because we don't have a lot of incidents regarding Black Hawks or planes, period. Once I run the numbers to you, you would say, you would believe that we are relatively safe, even though we have a lot of incidents lately, accidents lately when it comes to planes. But technically, over a long period of time, after you do the numbers and you think about it, remember, my numbers are not the entire uh, aviation community. It's just a few airports I put together and named 5 or 6 airports. If you do the numbers, we know we got 5 or 6 more airports than that in the world. And you just put the numbers on those 5 or 6 airports. You'll see later on when I get to that, that there's a lot more airplanes in the air at one time. And for us not to have a lot of incidents or accidents or any type of plane crashes or non-crashes, emergency landings, or non-fatal aircraft situations, we're doing very good. So I beg to differ that the president needs to say we got to change something because of an incident or because of an accident, if you would say. We don't have to change nothing. Our statistic numbers on this is awesome. However, people are led to believe that we are in a situation of crisis, that we need help, or we need to relook a situation because of things that just happened. When you go outside, you may fall. It just happened. You tripped. When you drive in your car, you may get crossed over. A car might cut you off. It happens. Things in our life happens. We cannot control it from happening because it's part of what it is. It's nature. It happens. So in life, we try to control things happening by making sure everything is logical. If it makes sense, if we do this correctly, we build it right, we use the right material, it'll last a long time. We do the proper maintenance, things will not malfunction. And technically, we have a good track record on doing that. So overall, we shouldn't be panicking saying we got to do certain things to our aviation department because we have incidents. It's okay. It's a part of life. Things happen. Everything has a risk. You can get in your car, have a flat tire. You can get on the bus break down. You can get in a train loses power. Things happen. We cannot always control our area or our situation. So getting back to the Black Hawk, as we know, this went down January 29th. And then January 31st, we had the Philadelphia incident where a small medical plane went down and 7 people was perished from that. February 6th in Alaska, we had an incident in Alaska where the plane radioed in is losing power, losing altitude, losing speed. They said it crashed because it vanished from the radar. We don't know what happened exactly to the plane, but it's just disappeared. February 10th, Arizona, Scottsdale Airport, 2 jets collided. 1 died, 4 injured. It happened February 17th, just the other day. The plane turned upside down. Now, if you looked at the video, the videos, many different videos of this, and it all indicates the same thing. It hit hard. Maybe it was going too fast. Maybe the motors froze. Who knows what really took place? But all we know, everybody was turned upside down and they lived. So it's bad that it happened, but we lived. We'll talk about it later. You know, it was a sad thing, but this is what goes on. When you want to get somewhere fast, there's a higher risk of things happening. Sometimes that's why they say don't speed when you're on the highway. They say, what? Stay in 65, 70. Because over that is a higher risk of something malfunctioning and maybe something bad happening to you if you speed over the certain speed limit. So this is why they want you to stay within the speed limit on the highway. This is why when you were landing a plane, they want you to be under 220, maybe 212 miles an hour in the plane. They don't want the plane going too fast when it's about to land. Just like when you're about to take off, they want you to go a certain speed. Everything is calculated. Everything that we can think of is calculated, from the weight on a plane to the food that's on the plane, to the liquid on the plane, to the luggage that's on the plane, the pilot's weight. Everybody's weight is accounted for. Everything is calibrated to work out, to do what it need to do and get you where you need to go safe and fast. However, incidents happen in our aviation department, and we got to understand that. That's just the way it is. So now I did a little survey. Nothing long, nothing extremely long. Just a little survey I did. And I want you guys to know, from 2014 to 2025 is 11 years. In 11 years, we had 16,416 aviation incidents. 3,652 were fatal. 16,412 were non-fatal. So now you say, wow, that's a lot of incidents, a lot of accidents. 16,000. That's a lot, right? And it is a lot. But when you think about 6 airport, let's think about it. We say LaGuardia, LGA. Let's say in New York, you got JFK, LAX. You have RDU. You have Georgia. That's 5. And let's do another one. Let's do, y'all can think of anyone y'all want to. Let's do LAX. Let's do Vegas Airport. Okay. That's 6. And let's just say all 6 airports, do 4,000 flights. They take off 4,000. So that means 4,000 planes leave these airports every day. At any given time, that is 24,000 planes in the air at one time. That is a lot of airplanes in the air at one time. Now, let's also say they land 600 planes a day. So we're going to say 600 times 6. Y'all know that's 36. So now when you do the math, right? And as we do the math, we look at this stuff and we say, wow, it's a lot of stuff going on all at one time. So 24,000 planes in the air. I'm sorry, guys, 24,000 planes in the air. And then we look at 36,000 planes landing. Something is wrong here, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm going to go without it right now. But anyway, when you do the math and you see it all, that's a lot of traffic at one time. So we don't have a lot of incidents or accidents like that. We just don't. But yet we lead to believe that we do, right? So when we look at it, 3,600 planes landing plus 24,000 planes in the air, 24, 27, 6. So we're looking at 27,600 planes in the air at any given time. And that's only per day. Per day. Right? So now you're looking at 27,600 planes per day. Right? So now you time that, it's 30 days in a month. Right? So time 30, you're looking at 828,000 airplanes in the air in any given month. And we have no incidents, none at all. Everybody flies in, flies out, flies in, flies out. Air traffic control, we're moving them in and out. Bags are being unloaded. Bags are being shipped over that's forgotten. First class entries. We got disabled. We got handicapped. We got all type of people in and out these planes, TSA, and it's no accidents at all, no incidents reported at all. So every once in a while, out of 828,000 per month, that's a month. That's within a month. So now you time that by 12, 9,936,000 planes are in the air at any given time per year. Remember, I did an 11-year survey. You do the math. We are winning when it comes to having accidents, when it comes to planes, and aviation doing a great job. We're winning. So why is it now all of a sudden a dire need for us to check our aviation? We have the best aviation in the world. Most countries are copying our formats. So it's cool, the president want to say that with our aviation, but in all reality, we are not behind. We are leading in aviation. I did that study when I was in college, also getting my master's, and we had to do a project management on aviation and how that works. And believe it or not, guys, I kid you not, we lead the world in aviation. So it's not uncommon for us to have accidents. They happen, but overall, we're good. So I wanted you guys to know that as we move on to our next subject, I wanted to talk about the cutbacks because I mentioned it earlier with the cutbacks. And Trump, he's in office doing what he do, but he's decided to cut back the federal agencies and federal funding for the federal people that work, the government people, they working there. They want to cut them. And he went to one of the biggest cities that have them, a lot of government agencies or employees, which is Chicago. Chicago has over 81,000 employees that work for the government. That's a lot. That is a lot of people. And, our guy, he went there with his goons and he just started laying people off. And he laid off about 3,400 people. And they are upset. And you have every right to be. That's your job. You've been there for a long time. They've been firing people that's been 20 years in. A couple of people that getting terminated is a month away from retiring. Some of them that been there for a very, very, very long time, losing all the sick time they had established over the years. They're not in contact with none of these employees, and they're really being done wrong. They've been mistreated, but there's no one there to levy for them because remember, they just killed the DEI. See, this was a calculated, orchestrated event of what Trump did. First, you cut out the middleman before you cut out the union people. You cut out that person that can't represent them anymore, and then you cut them off. So who they complain to? It is very methodical, but it's effective. So we have to understand that we're not playing checkers. This is chess. When they do what they do like this is all calculated, So when I looked into that and I saw the numbers, I'm like, wow, he fired 3,400 people out in Chicago on the 6th. Sequentially, he did the same thing in the National Nuclear Security Administration. Now, as I move on to them, I want you to understand something. These are the people that work with nuclear bombs. These are the people that work with security. They do a lot of different testing. They also work with diseases and viruses, and they try to come up with cures. So within this system and this name, the people do the research for all type of diseases. Now, if you don't know, I got to break down a little bit of this for you, and I will with no problem. Um, on our dollar bill, we have the sign of the pharmaceutical company logo on our dollar bill. It could be indicating, and it's just my opinion, it could be indicating that the world is ran by pharmaceutical companies and by maintaining diseases, not curing them. Some people would say that. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just giving you information. You do what you want with it. But at the end of the day, we got to look into um, what sustains our country. And medication treating a virus is what's popular, not curing it. We're not into curing anything. We're into maintaining it and just keeping it around so we can eat off it. This is all alleged. None of what I'm saying. I'm just telling you that in 20 years, we may have gotten a cure already for certain diseases or viruses, but the money is not in the cure. The money is in the treatment. Yes, yes. The money's in the treatment, baby. If I can treat you for 20 years for a virus or for a disease, why should I cure you when I get money off and just keeping you in it and just eat off your medical insurance? That's what happens sometimes. I'm not saying it happens with us in America. Oh, no, no, no. That doesn't happen with us. No, no, no. So these nuclear people do cancer research as well. So if you cut them, which, hey, guess what? Hypothetically, I could be wrong, but the paperwork says that they terminated 300 people from a nuclear area as well on the 6th. So now, today, I looked at some information that we as American people have made a mistake. Trump says, no, we can't fire the people that run the nuclear. We got to get them people back. Now, whether we getting them back for cancer research, or maybe we getting them back, or they just nuclear bombs or something we need to keep ready, and then people that work there, everybody don't want to work there anyway because it's nuclear. So we got to get them people back. But ironically, it's so easy for us to terminate them, but we can't find them now all of a sudden to rehire them. All of a sudden, we don't know how you reach the people. When they came in to report to work on Thursday, they were already terminated. They didn't even know. So now they're trying to rehire the people that they terminated. And now all of a sudden the information is gone. We don't know where they're at. We can't find them, where they're located. Just don't know. And that's what they're saying now. And it's kind of sad because they're going to find some of the people. They're going to rehire some of the people. And most of them might get their job back because we do a cutback, but we want to cut back in certain areas. Just the areas we know affect minority people and people that might be struggling. We don't want programs for them to be available, but we want to have bombs in case we got to go to war with somebody that we're messing with. So we want to make sure we have that type of stuff covered. And, we got to make sure we keep the treatment medication going for diseases we might can cure, but we rather treat it. I understand totally. So when I look further into this, I looked at the IRS, and the IRS saying they're going to cut 15,000 employees. Now, I'm never against cutting taxes, So if you need to cut 15,000 employees that work for the IRS, you got my blessings because them taxes will ruin you. But I'm just joking, guys. There's a human beings. They need a job to make their living as well, and I understand that that's a tough thing as well. So we're going to look into this. We're going to look and see what happens and how it's overall. We're going to look at the results when it comes to who they cut with IRS. But so far, all the programs with DEI have DEI implemented in it has been cut down to nothing. And it's so sad, but it is what's happening right now. So unfortunately, we just got to roll with the punches and see exactly what happens when the dust clears. Guys, we're 25 minutes in, and I'm going to get me a little drink of water, and we're going to start on our last subject, which is mental health. Excuse me there. I just want to let you guys know again, all platforms, we're there. We're giving you work that you need to hear and maybe you can apply to your everyday. And thank you guys for checking in after 5 and 6 on your way home and downloading a few things. So every episode moving forward, I like to give you guys something to think about that happened in the society, maybe not your immediate society, but these things do affect us as a whole, because when we hear disturbing things, it ain't good for the soul. But I got to give you this information. So about 3 to 4 days ago, Detroit woman was arrested on Pontiac, Michigan. Detroit, all the same. And excuse me, she was arrested because she has a 15-year-old son and 2 daughters, one 13 and one 12, who was abandoned since 2021. I'm gonna say it again. Young woman living out in Pontiac, Michigan, was arrested because she abandoned her children, a 15-year-old boy, a 13-year-old young lady, and a 12-year-old lady. Now, as the story unfolded and unwrapped, she didn't just leave them on the street. She left them inside the house. Since 2021, they've been locked in the house twice a week, maybe 3 times a week or more. She would come by and give them food and leave it on the steps. Meanwhile, not entering in to check on the kids. The kids wasn't in school. So happens. The only reason why we are aware of this situation is because the landlord hasn't heard from her since October, where they're renting the townhouse. Live in a decent area, looks very nice from the outside. Police were called to do a wellness check because the landlord haven't heard from her at all since October. So when the police knocked on the door, the son called the mother. Now, I said mental health, but she is muchly aware to have some type of communication with her children. So the son called the mother and told the mother police is at the door. And she told him to go hide. Well, they didn't hide. They opened the door and the police walked in. Unfortunately, guys, I can't give you the name because they didn't give out names. But what police discovered inside that apartment and that townhouse, they said it wasn't fit for animals to be there. That's how bad and nasty and disgusting it was for these children to live under these conditions. And I look at this as a whole, and I always tell you guys, my perspective and my view of this might be different, and it's just my opinion. But it takes 2 to raise them, just like it takes 2 to create them. So where is the father in this cut? Now, before I get into that area, I just want to go back to the setting. I want to place you there and let you understand what police saw in this house, and what they seen was very disturbing. The bathroom over flooded with feces, feces on the walls, feces everywhere. The odor, the stench. The kids had no hygiene products at all for years. Don't know how to brush their teeth. Their toenails were so bad that they couldn't walk because they need to be groomed. And this lady is their mother, and she just treat her children like this is just disgusting. Mind you, she's working, doing whatever. She lives somewhere else. I'm gonna say that again. She lived somewhere else and had the kids living in this condition. And out in Pontiac, police department really was disturbed about it. A lot of the agencies out there in Pontiac, Michigan, stepped in, and the kids now are living uh, with relatives. And she's under arrest. The mother is under arrest. I want to talk to you about mental health because I want you to understand something is not right mentally with this human being for her to do that to her children. There's some type of trauma that's there that need to be addressed that was never addressed. For her to leave her daughters there without any adults there to monitor the situation, her son there as the adult, he's only 15, and these kids were not in school. I want to elaborate a little bit right in here because the kids were missing from school. Excuse me. Where was social service at? The loophole we have here is the kids wasn't in school for years, not a couple days, years, and they go under the radar. They went under the radar with no one acknowledging we have a problem here. Social workers, uh, no one talking, saying what happened to these three children that are not in any schools. Where's the mother at? No one stepped up. The only reason why they know about this situation is because of the landlord going by there and saying, hey, listen, this ain't right. Let me call the police. Police came, and then here we are. So I want you to understand this woman and the amount of stress she probably been under, um, the mental state she could have been in to say she don't want to be around what came out of her. These children came out of her, and she don't even want to be around them. It's crazy. Now, of course, the father, who is the father? Where is the father? He's obviously not in contact with the children because I would only guess that a man that's involved would have known something and got his children up out of that situation or tried to help or something. But it's unheard of. He wasn't mentioned in the story. And I want to close as we go 30 minutes long now that mental health is very, very important. We have to stay on top of keeping a healthy mental mindset. You know, everyone go through stress, everyone goes through different things in our life, but we need to understand how important it is to keep our mental capacity in a positive, not in a negative. And when you're stressed like that and you feel like you have no way out, do not feel ashamed to call 911 or 411 and get some help your way, whether it's just a break away from home, whether a walk, a phone call, a cup of coffee where you can talk to someone and have someone help you and reach out to you because everyone goes through situations in life. No one's guaranteed to have a smooth ride. You're not perfect and no one is perfect. So you're entitled to have a bad day. Mental health is so important that it is now a staple in the United States where you can take a mental health day. So you're entitled to that. So please, all the single mothers, the single fathers, all the people that's out there that's really putting in that work by themselves, and sometimes they get very frustrated and need a day off. They need a day to get away. You're not alone. There is help for you. There's a lot of different outreach programs and things for you. You just have to know where to look at or where to look to get the help you need. I will be putting up information on the Facebook page to get you information for mental health for those of you that needs it. And don't be ashamed of reaching out. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And as we close, guys, I want you guys to know that please stay safe, stay aware, and remember that today is just your new beginning. And no matter what happens to you, we're here. There's always someone here. I'll see you on Tuesday. This will be out on Thursday's podcast. Everyone get home safe. Until next time, I'll see you.